Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items, and my back hurts. So basically, I played golf yesterday at Hallworth Country Club in New Jersey. First hole, I shot a 7. Second hole, I hit my drive left of the fairway. I'll throw some music on. Left of the fairway. I'm basically blocked out of the hole, or at least from trying to make it onto the green. At least that's what a little baby would think. But I hooked a 6-iron to the front of the green and salvaged my entire front 9. Shot a 41 on the front, which is probably the best 9 I've ever played, or at least very close to it. Probably the second best 9 I ever played. And like everything was dropping. I just had that 1-7. Putting really well, hitting my irons pretty well. But then we make the turn. One of the people I'm playing with tells me I just shot a 41. Then my back starts hurting. Get through the 10th hole. I think I had like a double bogey. And then I just fell apart. My back was killing me the rest of the day. And that is why I did not stream or anything like that last night. But that's okay. We had a couple of good matches. So let's go through some of these matches. Actually, before we go through these matches, let's look at tomorrow for everybody who wants to know what's going on tomorrow. So tomorrow we have LCS Team Liquid against Dignitas, -385 to +270. Then we have TSM against Evil Geniuses. The first match is pretty obvious. Everyone's going to be on Team Liquid. Not very surprising. Do I think Dardoch is good enough to carry his team to victory? I do think that they have winning chances, but again, it's a best of 1, so any underdog really has a chance of winning the match. It's going to be a tough match for Dignitas, though. I don't expect them to be able to pull off the upset. TSM against Evil Geniuses. I think Evil Geniuses is the more talented team. I have my tier list right here. Evil Geniuses is above TSM, so I would probably go with the underdog in that one. And then Team Liquid against Dignitas. There's a huge disparity there. Next up, we have Schalke against XL. Actually, I could do it this way. Schalke against XL. So XL and Schalke. So I'm probably going to go with the favorite on that one. XL is -164. Misfits against SK Gaming. SK Gaming are the favorites over Misfits. Misfits just recently lost to Schalke. The public should be very low on Misfits right now. Probably a good time to play the Misfits. Very close match. I think both sides have chances. In terms of DraftKings, both teams should be fine. Like I don't think one team has a much higher upside than the other. Mad Lions against Origin. Going into the season, this would have been a very hyped matchup. Origin at +170 is interesting. They always have macro chances, but Jack Troll won his first 2 matches, lost his second 2 matches. I don't think that the Jack Troll substitution is really going to be beneficial long term. So take that information as you will. G2 against Vitality. G2 has been very shaky, but G2 had that great comeback in their second match last week. So hopefully G2 can build on that. G2 I think is significantly more talented than Vitality. Fnatic against Rogue, another very close match. I'm still not a huge believer in Rogue. I think that Fnatic's long-term talent is better than Rogue. At least like the amount that what we've seen from Fnatic in the long term has been better, and then moving forward, maybe Rogue is able to overtake them at some point. But I still think for now, Fnatic is the favorite, and they're probably too small of a favorite for like the real winning chances. But this line makes sense according to the results that we've seen. Next up, T1 against KT. T1's a better team. Not much to say there. Sandbox against Team Dynamics. Very close match. I bet against the Fighting Yamato Cannons all the time. So Team Dynamics against Sandbox. I think Dynamics is a little bit better. I'll probably be on that side. Last up, we have the LPL. So RNG against Dominus. RNG is a shaky team, but they've been better than Dominus long term. In my ranking video, Billy said that his hot take was that RNG will win out the rest of the season, make the playoffs. FPX will lose out, miss the playoffs. But FPX already won their match, so I'm not sure what that does to their playoff chances. But Yeah, Billy would be on RNG. I'll tell you that much. Second match, LGD against Vici. So LGD and Vici Gaming. We have LGD and Vici Gaming. So again, I think it's pretty clear what side I'll be on for that one. We also have golf. We have NBA coming back today. All very exciting stuff. I did not put out a video for the NBA yet. I'll probably do a quick one, but it's only the 2 games. Tough to get excited about the 2 games. There is the $4 Millionaire Maker, which is pretty cool, but that's not important for right now. So, okay, let's get into the pick bans from yesterday, because I think the pick bans for the Damwon Gaming and DRX series are pretty important. So Damwon Gaming banned out Karma, Azir, and Ezreal. Karma is a very good champion for DRX because they know how to flex it correctly. Ezreal is one of Deft's best champions. He's one of the best Ezreal players in the world. DRX got rid of Kalista because Ghost plays a decent amount of Kalista. Volibear, the top and jungle, can both play Volibear, but it normally ends up being a jungler. Set is locked in, first pick overall. It's a good flex pick, nothing wrong with that. DRX picks Senna and Camille. So this is very questionable because Camille is not a good blind pick top laner. Camille actually has been played in the jungle a decent amount recently, like on people's streams. I know Rush was playing it the other day. Theoretically, Camille could go with Senna into the bot lane. That would be pretty interesting. Like, maybe that's a good way to go against Aphelios, but I haven't seen it done. But it does have the beginnings of something that makes sense in my mind. Then we have Aphelios and Thresh. So Aphelios, best champion in the game in my opinion. So far we have a good flex pick from Damwon Gaming. We have a good bot lane pick from Damwon Gaming. Then we have DRX. We have Senna, which Deft. That's probably a takeaway pick from Damwon Gaming because Damwon Gaming has shown that they're very, very good at Senna. So I'm not sure why DRX didn't pick up the Aphelios. Maybe they don't think it's as strong, or maybe they're just one of those teams that's convinced they have counters to it. Just a mistake in my opinion. I'm pretty cold. I hope I'm not getting sick. Next up we have We have Heimerdinger locked in, and the Heimerdinger will eventually go bot lane. So we have Senna support. Camille theoretically could go top or jungle in my mind, and then Heimerdinger is the bot laner. So the guy from Oracle's Elixir posted a stat line about Heimerdinger versus Aphelios in solo queue. He does this a decent amount. Like he'll always say like, this is a pick that we've seen in D1. It's a counter pick, and then the game goes the opposite direction, like almost every single time, which is pretty funny. There's not a lot that you can take away from D1 games and apply to a competitive match. Just solo queue in general, in my opinion, has very little to do with professional play. They're very different games, like pickup basketball versus a professional NBA game. So then we have Trundle locked in. So it's Trundle against Set in the jungle. Then we have Zoe and we have Kennen locked in. So at this point in the draft, you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, well, we have the Camille in the top lane. We have Senna, can either be the bot or the support. We have Heimerdinger, could either be mid lane or the bot laner. And then you kind of need to consider like Heimerdinger against Zoe. Is that a good matchup? I'm not familiar with that matchup. I would assume that it's fine because he can continuously shove into Zoe. Camille against Kennen, is that a good matchup? Probably not. Kennen probably just scales relatively safely. Eventually, Camille will outscale him and be able to split push. But is that really going to be an easy way to win the game when you have a Heimerdinger? Like, does Heimerdinger make sense with Camille? Doesn't really seem like it. Just a weird draft overall. And then you have Jace locked in, and you're like, wait a second. Where are the champions going? You have Jace against Kennen, Jace against Zoe, Camille against Kennen, Camille against Zoe. Is Camille going bot lane? Is Jace going bot lane? It's a pretty insane draft from DRX. And DRX does this a decent amount where they just have these head scratchers. You're not exactly sure what they're trying to accomplish. And they got raffle stomped in game 1. So Chovy is playing Camille into Zoe. Theoretically, maybe there are ways to get onto Zoe after she uses her ultimate, or like just play hyper aggressive in the early game, try to blow her flash, try to get a kill. But if you're not able to do something like that, then are you ever going to be able to like counter what she's trying to do? And then you have Jace, who likes to be in poke compositions and bully the lane. Jace against Kennen isn't a favorable matchup. If anything, it's even at best. Manages to get a kill, so good job there. Damwon Gaming gets the first dragon. Then they just start snowballing through kills, so they're up 2,000 gold. The Heimerdinger really wants to force a lot of pressure in the bot lane by continuously shoving out. 2 dragons already. It's already a 3,000 gold advantage. Damwon Gaming's able to just continue fighting the dragons and getting a bunch of kills. They're up 7,000 gold. This game is just a complete stomp. They get 28 kills or something like that. Set gets 9 kills. Like, when do you ever see a Set getting 9 kills? So that's the kind of thing where, like, I know that the result was very good for Damwon Gaming in terms of kills, but it only counts as 1 win. You can't really read too much into this, because if anything, it's a negative that Damwon Gaming had 28 kills, because they didn't close out the game when they should have earlier. So in a closer match, if they're not able to close out the game in the amount of time that they should, then they can run the risk of throwing away their advantage. But yeah, easy Damwon Gaming win. And then we have game 2. So we have Pantheon banned out. So the Pantheon is banned out because Beryl plays a lot of Pantheon with Senna. So Twisted Fate is locked in first. It's not abnormal to see this, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I still think that you should be first picking Aphelios and then letting the rest of the draft play out according to that first pick, because it's like, when you're thinking about the metagame, they're going to have some champions to try to counter it, and then you have some champions that can counter the champions that they're using to counter you. That's like my preferred method of drafting at this level. Especially when everyone's champion pools are as diverse as the professional players. Like, if you're willing to pick something like Heimerdinger, how are you not 3 levels deep on an Aphelios comp? Like, I just don't get it. So Damwon picks Camille and Galio. It's a very good combination for your solo laners. Again, I think that some teams are probably messing around with Camille with Senna. Some teams are probably messing around Camille with in the jungle. So Chovy's always the one that I'm saying. Renekton is locked in. So the Renekton versus Camille matchup, Renekton wins early, Camille wins late. That's basically that. So Karthus is locked in, and Karthus is a very good jungler right now after the most recent set of buffs for Karthus. So Karthus will be doing a ton of damage in the late game. Basically what DRX needs to do is create a large advantage and win the game before they get outscaled by Camille and Karthus. And they have a decent mid game, and they have 2 very good supportive champions for the mid game. So Galio will be able to ult onto Karthus theoretically if Karthus like goes in for like a suicide Karthus. The Camille plus Galio is very good. Senna has the long range follow up. Tom Kench, I don't know if the Tom Kench really made a lot of sense in this team composition, but it's not going to kill them. So let's see how the first couple of interactions go. Basically, if you're DRX, you cannot give up early kills. You should probably be invading the Karthus, and you basically need the first couple of dragons. Okay. What? Yeah, so Tom Kench is pretty good in the early game. Senna Tom Kench is just a very good bot lane duo. So DRX used teleport to get back to lane so that they could shove out the wave and reset, which is fine. Olaf is invading the Karthus, which is what we need to see. Wow, that was a close one. Oh, all right. 800. So, in my opinion, this is a mistake because DRX should be trying to force dragon on spawn every single time. All right, good play by Damwon Gaming. So again, it's already looking kind of scary. We haven't had the first dragon taken. That means that it's going to give additional time for Damwon Gaming to scale. So you can start posturing around a dragon like 5 minutes, the 5-minute mark, 6-minute mark, and they just let it sit on the rift for 2.5 minutes. You have Olaf. I don't know why they're not going for it. Maybe they're like, I just don't get that really. Damwon Gaming manages to get the first dragon, gets a couple more kills, and at this point the game's over. Like, you have Renekton, Olaf, they have Camille and Karthus. You're going to get outscaled. The only AP damage you have is Twisted Fate. So this is a bad game from DRX. Let's go Top Esports against Sunning. Wait, what? What? You have Infernal and you're gonna lose this game? What the hell? How does Top Esports get this Baron? What is happening? Why did they back off the map? So they were pushed out in the mid lane. They're up 6,000 gold. And they do a coordinated recall where all of their team goes back. And Top Esports gets the easiest Baron of their life. Gets out. And starts running down mid. Sunning's playing around the Elder Dragon. How do you give up? How do you give up the Baron? Like, that's a huge just macro mistake. What is happening? Sword Arc is taken out. Maokai manages to get back for a TP. Jackie Love's doing a lot of damage right now. Syndra's doing a lot of damage right now. Maokai comes in with a TP flank onto the LeBlanc. Man, I cannot believe that they let this game fall through their grasp. They had Infernal. That's crazy. So that's a very good win from Top Esports, being able to win that one. We didn't get the Skarner. So Sunning has a small lead once again. What the hell? Man, you gotta be pretty annoyed if you're a Sunning fan. Oh well. Top Esports is just playing the better macro game. Basically, Sunning has this gigantic gold lead and they're not forcing any of the dragons for themselves. Alright, so let's see this one. How do you let them... What is happening right now? See, so like this is what I talk when I'm talking about, like positioning and posturing, vision control, tempo, all of those kinds of things. Top Esports knows that they need this dragon, so they're pushing their vision control into the red side jungle of Sunning. Sunning's still up 2.5k gold right now, so that's a good lead for Sunning. They have the Aphelios. Aphelios is a little bit behind Ashe. Maybe that's why they're afraid. It's just crazy though. They're like not fighting over these dragons. I just don't get it. And they don't even get mid tower. So that's like they didn't commit to either play, so they got neither. That's classic. Classic League of Legends. Alright, so Bin was killed earlier. The dragon has still not come up yet, and both teams are going to start posturing. So let's get early. So Top Esports is recalling, and there's only 30 seconds left until dragon. If I'm sunning, I'm setting up my position so that Top Esports has to walk into me. And that is what they're doing. Wukong is looking for a flank instead of sitting with the team. Wukong could have already been in position for a flank. And Karsa gets a good steal. So that's pretty horrible because Volibear should have been able to get that one with the level advantage. Huanfeng gets caught. That's just a bad play by Huanfeng. I don't think that the Mountain Soul going away is like game ending, but it kind of feels game ending. They get Baron. How many more kills do they get in this game? They scored a lot of DraftKings points, right? This is surprising. I could have swore I thought they had a good DraftKings day. Oh, so they probably got to 20. Yeah, okay, 21. Alright, so that's just bad from Sunning. Sunning had a lot of bad macro decisions in that game. World Elite against V5. I was on World Elite in this match. World Elite won game one pretty easily, and then Samdi got subbed out, which that's pretty concerning. I think if you're a V5 fan, in their last few matches, maybe they felt like Samdi was getting outplayed, and now they just felt the time to pull the trigger and bring in Y4. So Y4 is another player who can play Ashe. Y4 didn't win it all last split. Yeah, that's just the kind of thing that I hate to see from a team. And then he also plays in the last game. So we have Twisted Fate every time. Not a big fan of Twisted Fate. V5 gets out to a pretty early lead. They give up the lead. 2 dragons to 2. There's a dragon on the map right now. They're going to get the 3rd dragon. Very close match. Posturing around the Baron. World Elite contests. V5 gets a Baron for free? Why does this happen? Zoe just gets a pick on a Mordekaiser? Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Zoe's broken. What a champion. Still a bad play from World Elite either way. Even if Mordekaiser doesn't die, they're going to get Baron there. That makes them give up the 6th dragon. Teacher Mo's trying to stop the wave. Which is correct. Like, that's a fine, it's a fine thing to do. But then they lose 8-5. Oh my god. So I think just a lot of stupid problems for both teams. Not really going to take too much away from that one. So yeah, golf starts in about an hour. Let me get my I'm playing in the Pat Mayo thing. That's a really good tournament. It's rake free, I believe. Like some people, well, he says it's the best tournament on DraftKings, which it's definitely a really good one. The Millionaire Maker on DraftKings for basketball is only 1/4 of the way filled, and it starts in 7 hours. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign for them. So I'm gonna release this video after lock. So my entry into the dog leg, I have Rory McIlroy, Tony Finau, Hideki Matsuyama, Mark Leishman, Rafa Cabrera-Bello, and Cam Champ. Cam Champ, I think just at that price, he's the kind of golfer who can go really low. I don't think he has any very good performances in WGCs in the past, but I'm basically making a bet on long-term talent, and the fact that I think he'll be in the same conversation as the other golfers at that age range. Rafa Cabrera-Bello, he's had some good WGC performances in the past. He's good in strong field events. A few years ago, he looked like he was going to crack into like being an elite player. He's a little bit older, like he's in his early 30s, I think. Actually, I could check that. Okay, he's 36. He's 36, and he really didn't get much fanfare in the beginning of his career, mostly playing on the European tour, but a good player overall. Mark Leishman at 7,700 is pretty insane. He has very good course history here, and he's good in strong field events for the most part. Hideki has won a bunch of WGCs. He's played well at this tournament in the past. Tony Finau is just on fire right now, so I definitely want Tony Finau until he wins a tournament. And then we have Rory, because Rory is probably going to be remembered as the best golfer of this this decade, or the last decade, of one of these decades. He'll be the golfer of the decade in either the 2010s or the 2020s. Rory's still an incredible golfer. Actually, maybe that's a tough argument to make. The most talented golfer in this time period. So let's go to the NBA real quick, and I'll touch on the teams that the players that I like in the first day of games. I went over this a little bit with Chris, but he does not have time to make a video today. So let's go position by position. We'll do the point guards for every team, shooting guards for every team, etc. So first up, Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, and Jordan Clarkson. I think all three of those players are in consideration today. Against the Pelicans, I think that like for Mike Conley, you really don't expect him to get into the 20-point range. Against Lonzo Ball, that's really not a bad matchup, but I'm not sure who Drew Holiday is going to be covering. I would assume that Drew Holiday goes on to Donovan Mitchell, and then Mike Conley is getting Lonzo Ball defense, so maybe there is additional upside for Mike Conley. Mike Conley's still a very good player, has triple-double upside. Jordan Clarkson is supposed to take on some of the minutes of Bogdanovic. He's not going to be playing, so that's potentially very good for Jordan Clarkson as well. But Jordan Clarkson isn't going to be one of the main players, I don't think, in terms of usage rates and getting to put up shots. I think it's like first it's Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, and then everything else works its way off of that. For the Pelicans, we have Drew Holiday, Lonzo Ball, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Alexander Walker has been playing a lot in the preseason and has very high upside in terms of scoring. So if this game blows out either way, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is going to get a lot of extra minutes. And then if Utah goes small, like let's say Utah plays Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, and Rudy Gobert at some point in this game, I could see Alexander Walker staying on the court for additional minutes in that spot. Just a high upside play. He's a good GPP play. Wouldn't recommend him in cash, but I think the upside is there for a tournament for sure. For the Clippers, we have Reggie Jackson and Pat Beverly. Pat Beverly might not play, so you have to watch out for the news on this one. Reggie Jackson is one of my favorite plays on the slate. Then the Lakers, we have LeBron, Alex Caruso, and Quinn Cook. I don't know what they're going to do with their rotation for point guard minutes. The concern is that LeBron is not going to play a lot because I think they already have the number 1 seed locked up. They might want to test themselves against the Clippers, but at the same time, why do that right now when you don't need to? If there's a lot of blowout time, maybe you can justify getting Quinn Cook into some of your lineups. But again, you're not going to play Alex Caruso or Quinn Cook over some of the other options in the first game. And you're probably not going to want to play them over Reggie Jackson either. So that's another GPP play. Let's go to shooting guard. For shooting guard, again, Donovan Mitchell is a good option tonight. Joe Ingles is always an option if he gets hot from three. Jordan Clarkson is basically only a play because Bogdanovich is not playing. Royce O'Neal, I'm not going to play Royce O'Neal, but he might get a lot of minutes tonight. Georges Niang. This is the guy that's afraid of flying. If anybody's going to explode in the bubble because he doesn't have to travel, it's Niang. He has an old school kind of game, an old man's game. He's not the best athlete in the world, but he is a good basketball player. He just doesn't like flying. Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, JJ Redick, Etwan Moore. So this is an interesting spot. Obviously, Brandon Ingram always has the chance to go off and get like 40 real life points. Against Utah, he shouldn't have a difficult matchup against any of the defenders. So if this game blows out, Brandon Ingram's probably one of the main beneficiaries. Josh Hart is not one of the primary players on the Pelicans, but if you get some good secondary statistics and just like finds shots within the flow of the offense, he has an okay chance at making value. But how often is he really going to have tournament winning upside? Probably not very often. JJ Redick, chucking threes. Not sure what his usage is going to look like in the restart. And then Etwan Moore is more of like I'm going to steal points from everybody kind of guy. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Marcus Morris. Those are the main players that I'm looking at from the Clippers outside of Reggie Jackson. I don't know what their rotation is going to look like because I don't know if they even care about winning this game. So I think the Utah-New Orleans game is probably going to be better for DraftKings scoring. I do like Marcus Morris. Like, if this was a game that meant something, I like Marcus Morris being on the floor because he's another player who can switch on to LeBron James and play, like, very tough defense and just be very chippy and try to get under LeBron's skin without giving up, like, a technical foul or a flagrant foul or the potential of being ejected. Like, you don't want that to happen to Kawhi or Paul George. So if Marcus Morris can get out there and be just a horrible human being for a little while, I think that's a smart idea. LeBron's still questionable. I just don't know what to do with the Lakers until we have more news. So you'll have to watch for late news on that. There are no real power forwards that I want to play from Utah. Brandon Ingram, you could slot him in at the 4, which is fine. Zion, still not sure if he's playing. Let's see. Is there any more news? Game time decision. Great. Perfect. Nicola Melli. I do like Nicola Melli. He is a stretch 4 or 5. If he gets extra minutes, then great. Kendrick Williams, not really that interested. The Clippers, Marcus Morris again. Jeff Green? Oh, JaMychal Green. At that price, you can get JaMychal Green in there, but more in like a blowout. So maybe if you need some salary savings, you just run a bunch of different combinations of like super cheap players. Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris. So the other Morris twin. Maybe they can just get onto the court and fight each other. That'd be fun to watch. Anthony Davis, Kyle Kuzma. Again, I don't know what their minutes are going to look like at all. Probable. Let's go with centers. Rudy Gobert, I think, is in a great matchup. Probably the best matchup on the slate is Rudy Gobert against the Pelicans. Like, Derek Favors can't stop him. Jahlil Okafor can't stop him. Derek Favors is interesting for he could put up like a 20 and 15 performance, get a couple of blocks, get a couple of steals, maybe like just random steals. And then he always has good rebounding upside and stuff like that. So not sure what their rotation is going to look like down here. I don't know if you can really justify playing Melli with Favors against Utah or against New Orleans. No, against Utah, unless Utah goes big. How would they go big? Like Royce O'Neal plus Rudy Gobert? I don't know. Seems weird. Maybe the Melli play is more thin than I thought. Montrezl Harrell's not playing, which is another reason Reggie Jackson's a very good play tonight. Montrezl Harrell has a lot of the second unit scoring. Same with Lou Williams. So that's another reason why I like Reggie Jackson. Everybody likes Reggie Jackson, I think, in the industry. Even before I started reading other people's stuff, that's a spot that I was going to go to. Ivica Zubac, not sure how many minutes he's going to play, but theoretically it's a revenge game. And if it's a garbage time game, then he could get a lot of extra minutes. And then last up, we have the Lakers, JaVale McGee, Markieff Morris, Dwight Howard. Again, it depends on what they do with Anthony Davis. I'm not sure what they're going to do with Anthony Davis, but that's basically what I'm looking at for basketball today. The $4 Millionaire Maker, very interesting. Might have to put some entries into that one. Not sure if I'm going to max it. That'd be pretty aggressive for a game, for a slate where we have no idea what's going on. I prefer the larger slates and then picking games and game stacking. So that's basically it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.